Hey, what's up guys? So today we're going to be going over the new overpowered Exceed card, Yugioh AA-ZEUS. This card is so insanely good in a lot of different decks, but specifically in Zoo, I think it has the greatest chance to see some play. So anyways, if you guys are unfamiliar with it, it just got announced recently. But anyways, you're not going to be using two level 12 monsters to actually summon it. How you go ahead and summon it, as long as you go ahead and actually battle with a Exceed monster, you get to go ahead and just summon this card. It doesn't even have to do damage, the Exceed monster that is, so you can attack for 0. And you will still be able to get this effect. So all you have to do is attack and you will be able to go ahead and slam him on top of another Exceed monster. But his effect is insane. His effect, he's able to go ahead and do is, as a quick effect, you get to attach 2 materials from this card to send all other cards. You guys just saw that effect. He just got rid of everything. You send all cards except for itself from the field to the graveyard. And then on top of that, that's not it, because the effect wasn't good enough, right? A quick effect, basically, think of it like a quick effect JD that doesn't blow up. It sends. That's a huge difference in Yu-Gi-Oh! And then on top of that, if another card or cards you control is destroyed by or by an opponent's card effect, you get to attach 1 card from your hand, deck, or extra deck to it as material. So obviously as Zoo, you won't really want to attach more Zoos to it. But what you're able to do in Eldlich, which is I think a really great deck, I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably sick of seeing it, but at the end of the day, if we're trying to show off what this could potentially open up the doors to, being able to mix it up with any cards that would be able to be attached to it. You'll see one of the Zoo cards be attached to it, but just getting basically any of the Eldlich cards into the graveyard, the Golden Land or the Elixir, you're able to go ahead and start your engine off if you want to go ahead and do that. Obviously, with the extra deck, you can get certain things that could be utilized later for other archetypes as well. So you'll see he's going to go ahead and summon and go for some extra cards over here. And he did technically, the other guy just didn't even really bother doing anything. But you'll see that once again, we're going to go ahead and make the AA-ZEUS send everything right to the grave. And even though he only has now 1 material with the card. Now keep in mind, you do have to detach 2 materials in order for it to get that effect. But for the most part, as soon as it comes out, in Zoo it's like really easy because not only can you just attach the monsters, but usually you don't need to detach immediately to get the effects like you would with some Exceed monsters. But he's going to go ahead and try to pull off this cheeky play over here. But the previous turn, I'm not sure why. He could have hit him for 7,000, not that it matters because he doesn't actually lose more than that anyway, spoiler alert. But it's mostly to show off this other effect that I want to go ahead and show you guys. You can start equipping your other cards. You'll see that once this card goes away, so he's going to go ahead and crash both of these. So he'll get this effective AA-ZEUS, and he'll be able to attach anything from his deck. See, this is where I feel like the card was just a little bit way too OP, because you can attach cards that you'd get cards by banishing out of the graveyard. I'm thinking like Breakthrough Skill. You know, any cards that would get effects out of the graveyard. With the AA-ZEUS, you will be able to indeed do that. In fact, this one guy, he quit a little too early. You'll see from the play over here. But nonetheless, there was a moment where he actually had the Layer of Darkness and he was able to tribute. But for the most part, this card's just way too good. The guy even got salty and was like, dude, this card's dumb. And I don't blame him when I was like actually watching this duel, because this one I actually did catch live. But I usually like these replays. I've been doing this a lot more versus like the full live com, because it's just so much faster and you guys get the idea of kind of what you can do with it. But there's a little bit more to it, and I want to go ahead and show you guys all a bunch of different varieties here. But again, once this card activates its effects, you get so much advantage off of it, because not only will he have all of his opponent's stuff into the grave, but you're also able to go ahead and start attaching your other cards that you want to go ahead and throw in the graveyard to, let's say, banish for a future play. But yeah, this is going to be a card that I think a lot of different decks will be interested in just trying out. But remember that you will have to have that additional card as material, because a lot of times you'll just have 1 if you detach for some archetypes. But I've seen a lot of different people try to tech it in. I mentioned Zoodiac Eldlich is like really strong, but I've seen some people try some Time Thief variants, because that deck is all about Exceeds anyways at the end of the day. But the problem is that your Time Thief goes away instead of being destroyed. Although a lot of times people will try to destroy it, and if you let it go through, it's actually even worse for them, which they don't see coming, because they're like, wait, I thought he was going to go ahead and just instantly, like, dodge the effect. But it actually is better if it gets destroyed sometimes, depending on the situation. But again, I want to show you guys a few different varieties of this one that's up against the Spiritual Beast. Which, you know, obviously off the new ban list, they're seeing a little bit more play here and there, but I would say it's not the most popular deck. Like, it used to be actually a lot more popular, just because the game has just gotten so fast, right? But once again, we're going to go ahead and see the Zoo Engine, but he actually gets hit up by a Nibiru, so he's going to go ahead and have to set a bunch of cards. But what is quite nice with Barrage, you're able to obviously pop your own card, which is quite nice. So he's going to go ahead and strike, get rid of that Ritual Beast Link monster. That honestly, that's like the first time I've seen this in months. But he's going to go ahead and Barrage. That's going to go ahead and get stopped by pre-order. But that's going to be stopped by the old school best negate card, Solemn Judgment. Pretty much negating everything by paying half of your life points. Anyways, Zoodiac Shock is going to be coming out. Going to go ahead and start stacking those cards. And one thing that is important, that you can attack for 0. This is something that I know some people argue on like, Dueling Network, if the effect would work, because this is proof right here. Okay, remember 0 over here. It's gonna go ahead and attack. Doesn't do any damage. Ban instantly. As long as you, it says via the effect of the AA-ZEUS. I'll just call it that because the other part of the name, I don't know. Heck, this card's name might get changed anyways. But anyways, if an Exceed monster battled this turn, so there's a lot of wording here where it's just really open to whatever you want. So yeah, just as long as it battled, doesn't have to deal damage, which is awesome. But yeah, just detach 2 and you send all other cards right to the grave. So he's going to go ahead and pop the poor Rempengu over here. He's stuck with this. Obviously, this is not going to be too useful until that goes away. He's going to go ahead and Desires, get some extra cards, and then Avarice, fantastic in any Zoo variant deck. It's not too much of a heavy negate deck. It's just that this archetype will get a lot of free extra advantage. He goes and makes another Hammer Kong. But anyways, yeah, it is a once per turn effect, though. You can't get, I guess, multiple of them. But I guess you can get multiple of them later down the line. But it's just showing you guys how strong and powerful the card is. And this one, that's another one where the guy kind of just like, actually, you know what? This is not one of the guys that gets salty. There's a few that I had, but I guess I didn't save that one. Because this one was a Dino player. Which this one, there's a cool little play here. But yeah, there's a lot of people that thought this card was super OP, and there was one guy that rage quit early, but he actually would have won the game, but he complained about the card and said whatever, that card's dumb, and then left the game. But you actually have to detach 2, and he didn't read. But you know, people don't read Yu-Gi-Oh cards, right? That's basically normal. I feel like you ain't even a real Yu-Gi-Oh player until you ran into the scenario where you didn't read your opponent's cards. That always happens. There's gonna be someone that comments and says, "I always read my cards." It never happens. That's fake news, alright? Anyways, Morbo gonna go ahead and attack, and then once again, just making this card. I mean, you could basically turbo this. I mean, again, remember, it sends everything, so if you're playing against a Pendulum deck, that's a huge advantage. I wish it, like, banished instead, but I mean, the card is already way too good. I mean, you guys already seen, against that poor Sacred Beast player, he just melted everything multiple times. And I always want to say you can just turbo out this as a deck. And I'll give you guys deck profiles just in case any of you guys want to try out other variants of this, as that we have 3 different deck profiles to go ahead and show off. So he's going to go ahead and attack. A little bit short on damage, but Avarice is there. I thought he should have Avarice maybe like earlier, but go off with his plays. But he's going to go ahead and Tenki. Go ahead and search the Whip Tail. He's got the Cataroost, and he's got another Avarice to follow up once all of this stuff goes away here. And Zoo, yeah, definitely benefited off of that new list with the Avarice at multiple. Evo Pill's going to go ahead and bring out the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. He's going to go ahead and chain, but that's going to go ahead and make everything go face down. But remember, everything does still go away, so he loses out on the called. But remember, the dinos are unaffected, unfortunately for him. But he got rid of the other cards, so still it's better than like nothing, right? Might as well. I mean, because he lost the other cards, but this would have actually gotten more damage in if he didn't send. So it was actually a better play, right? So he's going to go ahead and actually pop the pop of Avarice. Go ahead and draw some extra cards. Go for the Whip Tail. Go into the Dryden here so he can go ahead and maybe attack over this, but he gets it flipped face down, so it's not going to be attacking over the Dolka. Now, this is an interesting play here, because I was actually kind of curious to know what would happen, as there is 2 materials that are double Whip Tails, and I was wondering, like, can you like use both effects here? Because Dolka can negate Dolka, which is very interesting. A lot of people usually did this with Mind Control. They like do an effect, Dolka, negate Dolka with Dolka. But he actually changed both of the Whip Tails, right, of the effects, because it gains that effect, which I didn't actually know you could do. And then I guess he's going to go ahead and Dolka to go ahead, and you'll see it stops the grinding effect over there. But then he still gets banished. So that is quite good for him. He's going to go ahead and go right into shock, go ahead and special summon, and then you guys probably already can know what's going to be happening. And he's also got another mini pot of Avarice over here, where he's going to be able to reset even harder. Not going to be able to do damage this turn, but he's going to go ahead and miss-sell, and that is going to go ahead and activate his Zoodiac combo, get an extra attachment, and he's just going to go ahead and be like, well, that's a game over for me, mate. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoy seeing that. Let me go and give you guys the deck profiles. So the first one that I want to give you guys is probably what I would consider one of like the more meta-ish variants here. Although I want to say like you got to play a Permanence, Chalice, Droplet. Right now, S0 is just, I've been just kind of spectating these games to see what people are messing around with. I'll mouse over these, and if you guys want to download it, the YDK file will be there in the Discord. You guys can go ahead and download all 3 variants if you want to, and I guess the title is over here. And shouts to all the guys that were playing here. This guy was actually triple copy Skullmeister over here. That way he can get rid of anything he needs to. It's kind of like DD Crow at the end of the day, which is kind of nice. And it can also be a monster sometimes. You just need that small extra amount of attack for a game, especially when you're playing so many of the Solemns. I'm not sure if I would consider running the Solemn Brigades anymore. I think it's just, I would much rather run Nibiru, Dark Ruler No More, Droplets, Chalices, just to stop the plays, because even though this card's absolutely amazing, and we basically showed off how powerful and OP the AA-ZEUS is in action with Zoodiacs, it definitely will see some play in other decks. It's just Zeus, the one that I wanted to kind of feature today. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay as well as the deck profile. Like I said, I know I'm kind of going over this fast, so feel free to go ahead and pause if you go ahead and need to do so. But if you guys aren't here, make sure you guys subscribe, turn on the bell so you don't miss out on more Yu-Gi-Oh content. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it, and if you would like to send me other replays of other variants of any AA-ZEUS or Appliancers. I've been waiting for any Appliancer deck to actually win. I've been spectating for like a while here. It's rough, man. I got like 2 gameplays of Appliancers, but it's one of those archetypes that it comes out in a set that's actually pretty decent, but like no one really wants to play the Appliancers because of their budget, and they're just not very good at the end of the day when you compare it to, of course, the Numerons, which we will also be covering very soon, but we have covered it months ago, but it's just like more popular now. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys, and I will catch you on the next video. If you guys want to see me replays of Appliancers, I'll give you a shout out. Thank you so much for actually willing to play that deck. Or you can send it into the Discord as well. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video. I'm out. Peace.